Hello, this is Transformers fan G138 with another Botcon 2012 video review. This time of Soundwave, Shattered Glass Soundwave. I really like the mold they picked for this guy. It was shown in the online in the comic books long before he made it into a toy, and I think they did a great mold pick for that in that regard. However, the execution is a little off. I was so excited to get this guy, but from the first pictures I saw of him, I was like, oh, that's a little bit of a disappointment. For one, he's got like a mismatched color of headlights, and he's got the green back here, he's got the blue windows. I can't tell what's really going on with him. And then he's got like these windows, which some of the paint isn't put on very well. Like, you can see where the paint pulled away from the edge of the window. So you have spots darker and lighter. And they used a metallic base paint, which it's notorious for that. So I was a little disappointed in them. Like, there's a couple, like, around the corner on this side of this sunroof visor thing, and along the front line, the paint is, like, pulled away. So it's darker in the middle than the side. And it goes the same around the feet here. You can kind of see them in here. I'll get to that a little bit later. And then the white paint, too, they use is a little off. I mean, that's neglectable compared to everything else. But overall, I like the mold. I'm gotta be like the one person that actually enjoys this mold. Hate the transformation, but minor details. I don't mind the end result. That aside, he's got an enormous amount of paint applications, or paint apps. And that's one of the prides of the Botcon exclusives. They have the use of more paint apps than, say, Hasbro does. And Hasbro's been using even fewer of them with the Transformers Prime line, but that's something that's not for this time to discuss. But and my personal opinion on this guy is, just because you can use more paint apps doesn't necessarily mean you should. I hate these bumper stickers. He does not have them in his first comic book appearance or anything else, and in my opinion, I hate the color yellow, so that really detracts from the figure for me, like, a lot. I still like the figure. I still love the character. It's Soundwave, and it's a heroic Soundwave at that. And then, just that. And these things, I guess if I was a G.I. Joe fan, this would be more entertaining, as that's supposed to be the face of, I can't even remember his name. Anyway, it's supposed to be a G.I. Joe character, a Shattered Glass version. He's like their tour van for Cold Slither, which is interesting. It's kind of like a band they have in the Shattered verse on Earth. So it's nifty. Not anything special. He features this very bright red Decepticon symbol. Heroic Decepticon and all. Overall, I like the guy. I really was so excited when he was first announced to be in the set, but he does have some down points, and another one is his head, but I'll get into that a little bit later. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and get this guy in robot mode, so we can investigate that a little bit more. And here he is in robot mode. Something I forgot to mention when he's in vehicle mode, his license plate here says SNDWAV, and basically shortened version of Soundwave, so it's like, interesting. I like when they put things on there, like, it's not bad. I like that paint app. I just don't like these because they end up on his, like, stomach area, and it kind of detracts. It makes this area look bigger than it should. But anyway, one of the cool things I like about this mold is there is a red Decepticon logo inside the windshield. However, being the blue glass it actually turns purple. And I think that's kind of neat, you know. I mean, yeah, he's a little bit too shattered glass colored to claim it's G1 version of Soundwave, but it's still neat that that kind of like translates to purple. I don't know if that was planned or accidental, but it's nice. What's interesting about these pieces up here on his legs, they're actually like some black plastic, but they were spray painted white, and then they were spray painted with this metallic blue thing. And you can tell that because of the way the transformation goes, it actually rubs on this spot out here. Where in the Ratchet and Ironhide versions, those remained the color they were never painted. And yeah, so here he is a little bit side by side next to the Ratchet mold. It's slightly different than the Ironhide mold, which this guy uses simply because of the lights on the top, but you know, he's white. It makes more sense for a comparison. You know, it's okay. The blue paint definitely has some issues, but overall it's not terrible. You know, just a side comparison. I actually do like this mold, so it's not a complete waste. In robot mode, he looks a lot less terrible, in my opinion, than in the vehicle mode for me, except for these. But you know, if you really wanted to ruin the Botcon one, you could just take some rubbing alcohol. I would prefer to keep them in perfect condition or close to it. Like, yeah, there's another rub right here on the painted windows, because these are actually translucent blue plastic under there, which I don't understand why they painted that when he's supposed to be yellow, according to the comic book. Same with his eyes. Anyway, his head's an interesting sculpt. It's not as terrible as the picture on the website made it out to be, although it's not terrific either. Definitely not their best head sculpt. And yeah, I realized they had to work with a limitation of size, but realistically, if you took the head from the War for Cybertron Soundwave, it would work better on this. You know, modifying the neck obviously to fit, but it would definitely work a lot better. So, in addition to having the extra paint apps and being kind of awesome looking, but having flaws, obviously I mentioned these earlier, because these two pieces are separate, you can definitely see, even on the camera, the two different colored blues. I mean, it's the same blue, it's just this one was not put on as well. That's the unfortunate part. And this arm, for some reason, likes to pop off. It's the only mold it does it on, so I don't know if it's an issue for other people, but also comes with the standard Ironhide Ratchet weapon. It has the translucent blue knife, or the Gatling gun out of the other side. So to install it, you literally just place it over his hand and slide it onto his wrist, which can get tricky with the paint on his arm. And not wanting to go on. There. So I've chosen to put the knife on, and it's okay. It's not the best, for obvious reasons. But it's kind of cool, you know. It's definitely not the best. That's all I can say. I was really looking forward to this guy, and then he was a really big letdown. So I'm probably making this out to sound a lot worse than it is. I still think he's a really nice figure, and completely worth getting if you can find him for the right price. I don't know if I would pay the full Botcon aftermarket price for him, but he was definitely worth it in the box set. Also, you can see the Cold Slither decals here. Not my favorite thing. Well, anyway, I do like the guy, do like the colors. I just wish the paint was put on better. As far as articulation goes, because I almost forgot that again, he's got movement down here in the foot, ball and socket joint, a hinge knee, which doesn't go 90 degrees, but goes pretty far. Hinge, double hinged here, as well as a swivel. He actually has a waist swivel, surprisingly, for this mold. He's got a swivel up here, or kind of like a hinge swivel, but it's weird. And he's got a hinge here, hinge out of the arm, as well as a built-in swivel. He does have a ball and socket joint hand, although he can't hold anything, and his hand also has a thing in it. So to easily put on his weapon, you can fold in the hand and put this on, but the problem is it leaves this well, actually, surprisingly, it does not. Well, it leaves this one kind of loose. You can do that. I prefer to put the hand inside the weapon, but just for aesthetics. But it's not bad. So overall, I grade this as it's pretty good. It looks nice on a shelf. If you have other Shattered Glass figures, definitely worth picking up. If not, okay. Well, that concludes my video review of Transformers Botcon 2012 Shattered Glass Soundwave. Thanks for watching.